This is the difference between an amateur and a pro guitar tone. Hey guys, it's MIKKO from MIKKO Sound Lab, and I've been working around professional guitar tone for almost 20 years now, and I have to say many of the habits that I used to have around 20 years ago have gone, and my approach to guitar tone is extremely simple these days, and I would say that the results that I get are much better than I had before. And that's the problem with internet lessons. I mean, there are countless YouTube tutorials on how to get the best guitar tone possible, but what if I told you really shouldn't spend that much time on your guitar tone to make it sound pro? Now, before I jump into it, I want to remind everyone that this video is coming out during November. That means for MIKKO Sound Lab we have Black November, so everything is 50% off in our store, and we will be using the MIKKO 2 plugin today for this demonstration. So if you like the MIKKO plugin, here's a special discount code that gives you an extra discount that stacks up on top of that 50% off discount. So now is the best time ever to get the MIKKO 2 or MIKKO Reflex plugin. Now I have this kind of a pop rock, alternative rock sound going on here, and everything you hear is coming from MIKKO Sound Lab plugin. So we have MIKKO drums, no mixing done to it. We have amp to bass for the bass track, no mixing done to it. And then we have amp to Volcano as the amp sim for both the pro tracks and the amateur guitar tracks. And I'm bypassing the cabinet section entirely from these plugins, so I can demonstrate this by using the MIKKO 2 plugin. So let's jump to the amateur version of how an amateur would get a guitar tone that they think sounds amazing. So I'm gonna mute the pro tracks, I'm gonna pick the amateur tracks, and I'm gonna pick up the MIKKO 2. And the first amateur mistake is to think that all V30s are the same thing. I mean, it's a V30, it has the same name, so any V30 will do. I'm just gonna buy the cheapest V30 cab that I can find, and that's gonna be my sound. So I'm gonna pick a Chinese V30 for this demonstration, and let's pick a Bogner Uberschall. I mean, that is an expensive cabinet, that's not even amateur, but hey, let's pick that cabinet. And the second amateur mistake to do is to completely ignore the mix and just concentrate on the guitar tone out of the mix context. Now, an amateur will place their microphones with their eyes. They will not listen to the sound, they will just place the microphones using their eyes and just have a quick mic up and get to mixing and fixing all the problems in the mix. Wrong. Anyways, let's place the microphone dead center on this V30 and see if we move it around. You might place it a little bit more to the side if it's too nasty, but overall, when I see amateurs miking up guitar cabinets, I see dead center microphone positions all the time. Let's have a listen to what that actually sounds like. Now that's actually a pretty cool sound, but we've learned that if you really want to get a good sound, you need to use two microphones. And you tend to want to use a Royer 121 to get a fatter sound, then you have the 57 for the brighter sound. So let's add in a Royer 121. That is the fat microphone. And since we are placing microphones with our eyes, let's have the 57 right there and the Royer 121 there. And this is our sound now. What does it actually sound like? It's not nasty anymore. Now on to the favorite thing that all amateurs love to do. Let's fix this sound with EQ. So let's pick an EQ plugin, and we all know that what you have to do first is cut out all the lows and cut out all the nasty highs. That is what the pros tell you to do. So let's pick this flat kind of a high pass filter, and let's cut out the lows. And same thing for the highs, can't have any of that nasty high end in there. And then obviously the annoying frequencies, we need to get rid of those. So what amateurs do is they start looking for problems that necessarily aren't there. So let's start looking for problems. That's a nasty frequency. Let's just cut it out. More. Let's look for more problems. Another nasty frequency. We caught that one. Man, we're pro. Another one. We're doing such a good job. Let's look for more problems. And what you can do now is you can sort of scroll and fade between these, so you're not doing too much, because everyone knows you're not supposed to do too much of this. So there it is. I already solved so many problems out of my guitar sound, but hey, for some reason, if you really listen to the guitars now, a lot of the fullness sort of went away because I cut away all these problem areas. So let's put in another EQ, because you can never have too much EQ, right? What is that nasty high-end frequency then? And then it kind of has this nasally mid-range, right? Right? Where is that mid-range? Honk, honk, that kind of a thing. Don't need to cut too much, that's just like a couple of dBs of cutting. I think that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more cutting of this nasty one. But now it's, in an amateur way, sounding balanced, right? It's passable. I could have EQ'd more, and that's probably the reason it doesn't sound that good, because I should have EQ'd more. That is how to get a good sound. So now, for the first time ever, let's hear it in the mix, because I mean the guitar sound is ready. So pausing it here, I pulled up this graph just to show that I'm very fairly volume balancing everything to be good. And to be honest, that sound is not bad. but it is an amateur way of mixing. What we're looking at here in this graph is sort of this purple to green line, which is actually the drums. And then we have this red sort of filled track here. That is the bass, and this line that is also red, this is the guitar track. So what I'm really concentrating on here, which is actually kind of a more advanced way of doing things, is that I'm balancing the high end with the overhead samples and everything with the drums. So this is actually a very good way of balancing guitars with drums. Now, already I did quite many things that I used to do back in the day, and that was essentially how we were taught to mix guitars. It's all about doing a quick recording and then fixing it in the mix. And I've talked about this countless times, the way pros do, and how at least I think everyone should do things is spend the extra time when miking things up, when getting everything set up, tuning your drums, tuning your guitar, placing the microphones, and in the end you don't actually have to mix at all and you will get a better sound. So that is the pro way of doing things. Let's pull up the pro tracks and completely mute this amateur version and just concentrate on this pro version. And I will go as far as saying that I'm just going to be using one microphone and no EQ, no post-processing, and I'm gonna absolutely destroy that amateur version of a guitar tone. So once again, this is the MIKKO 2 plugin, and not all V30s sound the same. I'm gonna be using a very good V30. So I'm gonna be using the Mega Oversize, which is my #1 cabinet. That is the first cap pack we ever put out, and that's my sound. So we're just gonna be using one SM57 on one of the best V30s out there. I'm not gonna EQ this. I'm gonna listen to this mic position in the mix context and find the sound that really works the best with the song. And it's gonna destroy the amateur version. So let's have a listen to that. Maybe it took me 10 seconds to do. Let's have a listen to what it actually sounds like. I'm gonna volume balance it the same way to keep it fair. Okay, let's have a listen to what it sounds like. That is the pro way of getting a guitar tone. So, no low cut. The bass is already overpowering the guitar. So this green line is the guitar tracks. We have way more bass. It's covering the low end of the guitar. We're not getting any flub out of just using a 57. And the high end sizzle is definitely being covered by the overhead cymbals and all the stuff here in the high end. This is not gonna be a problem in your mix. You don't have to do that. It's, you know, only if you have really nasty stuff in here, you need to do something, but it doesn't sound nasty, it sounds good. You don't have to touch that. And where are all those nasty frequencies that we were talking about? I can't hear them in the mix. It's because there really aren't nasty frequencies. What you're really doing is you're cutting out much of the fullness and depth of the sound. If you go looking for problems, you will find problems that really are not there. This sounds so much better and amazing and natural, and I didn't have to mess with anything. Now, this comparison seems completely unfair, right? It seems so unfair. Well, the reality is that with a plugin like the MIKKO 2, it does make it unfair. In reality, if you were thinking about how much effort that kind of a mic up would actually take when you're doing that in real life, it's a lot of work. Just imagine a loud 4x12 screaming and you placing microphones completely blindfolded, running between a control room and a live room trying to get that perfect mic up. But with something like the MIKKO 2, we can do it here in the DAW and place that microphone perfectly to where it fits in the mix. But with a plugin like the MIKKO 2 and MIKKO Reflex, it just makes life so much easier, to the point where you may feel like you need to do more, but you actually don't. It's very simple and it's very easy to get a good professional guitar tone nowadays. This is a special discount code that stacks up on top of the Black November deal, so everything is already 50% off in the ML Sound Lab store. If you use this discount code, you'll get an extra 25% off. So now is the best time ever to get the MIKKO plugins. Go get them right now. I've been MIKKO from ML Sound Lab. Thank you for watching this video and see you on the next one. Subscribe. Bye bye.